Welcome everybody to Educator Circle. And I have an amazing discovery of a transformational leader that's right here in Florida, my favorite state in the nation, in my favorite city in Tampa, Florida, Mr. Kevin McDonald, who is a student affairs assistant principal in Hillsborough County. I found Kevin because I talk every Thursday, as you know, about transformational leadership and share with educators across the nation how we are all called to be people of transformation when you accept the role of being an educator. No matter whether you're a teacher, assistant principal, principal, superintendent, whatever you are to be a transformational person. And that is what Kevin is. And sometimes to find those transformational people, they actually change careers, and that's what Kevin has done. Tell us about your background, Kevin, and how you became a transformational leader.
Yes, my background is actually in journalism. I am a former newspaper reporter. So when I was in school, my focus was on working for a newspaper, and never in my wildest dreams did I think that I would be in this position as an assistant principal in a public school. But I really do believe that what I learned as a journalist and those writing skills have really been a blessing to me in communicating with teachers, communicating with students, communicating with parents, communicating with district officials. So I feel very fortunate to be in the position that I am. I feel very blessed.
You worked very hard over the years on your own personal education. You also had a mother that was an assistant principal and learned very quickly that her role during the time of her serving is very different than yours, although you were both transformational leaders. Tell me a little bit about that and what that has what your background has been as far as your preparation.
Yes, it's interesting. Yes, I come from a family of educators, and my mother was an assistant principal for more than 20 years. And the role has changed in the sense that when she was in administration, they were viewed primarily as disciplinarians, as managers. And even though that takes up quite a bit of what I have to do now in my role as an assistant principal, we are called to be instructional leaders. It's really about what can I do in my role as an assistant principal to help my teachers become better, not only in increasing their knowledge base, but also their pedagogy. How can they teach in such a way so that their kids can find what they do engaging? Because we all know that when engagement increases, then that's going to lead to student achievement increases as well.
And I understand that your journey from teaching to assistant principal was much about preparing for your change in student demographic. How can you help the other educators across the nation to understand how you have to distinguish and prepare yourself, for not just cultural literacy, but the demographic of academic achievement, your approach being different?
Well, you have to know your school. You have to know your students. You have to understand their neighborhoods and where they come from, and realize that they deal with some external factors that can really impact how they learn. So it's being aware of those factors, but not letting those factors be an excuse as to why kids cannot learn. Every child that is in a classroom can learn. You just have to learn how to reach them. How you reach Johnny may be very different from how you reach Susie, but all those students can be reached. And this is why I believe it's so important that we as administrators give timely and relevant professional development, because there are some teachers who struggle okay, I'm having issues in classroom management. I'm having issues with this strategy. So it's really making sure that we hone in and giving them the tools that they need so that they can differentiate that instruction and really help each child grow and glow.
And as we call all educators across America to be transformational leaders, people of transformation, what should we get them to reflect on as they cultivate that process in their own lives?
You know, to be a transformational leader, you have to be passionate about teaching. You have to be passionate about students. You have to be passionate about professional development. You know, I read a very awesome book by Barute Kafele, and this book is called Closing the Attitude Gap.
Yes.
And in this book, he says that every educator should ask himself or herself 3 questions. Who are you? What is your purpose? And in other words, what are you about? And then the third question is, what is your most recent evidence? And that third question is probably the one that really can get you to thinking as to, okay, this is what I'm doing, but are these activities leading to the results that I really want? As far as my kids growing, I'm not seeing as many discipline referrals. Kids are scoring at least what they need to score on the graduation benchmarks. So I think you really hit the nail on the head, and it's something that I find myself asking on a regular basis, because in every day I want to be effective and impactful. I want to make a difference.
Yes, thank you, Kevin. This has been Kevin McDonald with Educator Circle and Dr. Lisa with Educator Circle, for educators who love their work and want to get better.